So Laura would literally get 10 leads a week. She would close 4 to 6 leads every single week.
I was a personal trainer and I had an online personal training business too.
Most successful entrepreneurs, like, they don't need a lot of information to make a decision.
I think the fact that I knew nothing was so much better for me than knowing how everything worked, because I didn't know what a lead was until my first day on the job. I didn't even know what a lead was. I didn't know like how you sold insurance, I didn't even know any of that. I was making just enough to pay my bills.
What kind of person is sitting there scrolling through Facebook? They see somebody trying to sell a service or a product, and they're like, oh my goodness, I need to click on this and write scam.
And I think people do that to almost find reasons to not do it.
Lauren, what's up? I hope you know you're doing something really, really rare. So you're a doer, not a talker. Learning and doing and becoming better instead of being one of the many who sit and consume and complain. I'm so honored to meet you.
So, we are insurance agents. Thank you for joining us today. If you're getting on today, let me know where you're calling from. Let us know what the weather is. Where is your weather? We decided that the weather, Captain Stark, right? Stark. I don't know why I feel, you know what it is, man? I gave up the espresso. I gave up espresso again.
I didn't.
I'm like 2 weeks off of espresso. I'm on the green tea, you know? So I just kind of just getting by on these things. So, all right, if you're getting on here, let us know where you're from, where you're calling in from. We got Sheeta jumped on here, said, let's go. Shedrick's corrected me. Thank you, sir. All right, guys. So today we got Lauren. Lauren's super amazing. So Lauren, you got licensed with us, right? Yeah, Lauren got how long did it take you to get licensed?
I studied and took my test in 2 weeks. Now, after that, took a little over a month to get my license.
But so when somebody first talked to you about selling insurance, let's talk about that. Like because what were you doing before you were selling insurance? You're slinging shoes, right?
No, I was a personal trainer and I had an online personal training business too.
Okay, that's right. Mm-hmm. I remember that now. I told you you're going to give that up eventually, didn't I?
Yeah, I did quick.
You didn't believe me.
I did. I wanted to.
Believe me?
Yeah, I did. That is one of the things I do believe. Yeah.
So one of the few. So you're doing your personal trainer. You're working for yourself, so that's cool. You're already an entrepreneur. You already know what the grind is like. Somebody approached you with insurance. Like, was that like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm in, or was that like what? Like, what was that like?
I love this question. This is like a huge pivotal moment in my life. I love this question.
Pivotal moments.
With the personal training and the online coaching, I was making just enough to pay my bills. Literally just enough, like no extra whatsoever. Some months I don't even know how I covered all my bills because I didn't even make enough. And like I just hit this point. It was after Christmas. My daughter was 3, and I hit this point where like I couldn't give her the Christmas I wanted to give her. I could not take her to all these cool Christmas activities that you had to buy tickets for and buy the food. I had no money for it. The presents, I got her presents, but it wasn't anywhere close to what I would have really wanted to get her at that time. And after that Christmas, I just hit this point. I was like, I cannot, I gotta find something else that works. I don't know what it is, but I need to find something. And I actually made a post in this Facebook group I'm in. It's like an all women's group. And I was thinking about going to like a 2-year trade school, honestly. So I was asking about opinions on that. And this lady commented and she was like, have you ever thought about selling life insurance? So I messaged her about it. She told me about it. She was at Symmetry, I believe. And like everything she was saying, it was exactly what I wanted to hear, but something about it sounded too good to be true. And I was like, still, I'm going to study for my test. I'm going to do what you're telling me. Like, and I was. And then at that time, I saw a friend who was doing insurance, and I was like, I know I can ask her. She's going to tell me the truth. And she was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. And, I knew her. So ultimately I ended up going with her. And ever since then, it's just been going up, 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 up. So that's how I got into this business. Yeah.
Got it. So basically, like so like from the time you're introduced to insurance, like the time like it was on your radar, right? Because for me, like insurance wasn't on my radar at all,
Me
and then
either.
all of a sudden it was like from that time to like you signing up for that course.
Two
How
weeks.
long did that take? 2 weeks.
Well,
So you thought about it for 2 weeks.
no, she sent me the course. I bought it. I was studying for 2 weeks and thinking about it at the same time. I didn't know.
Okay, so
I
you
was
signed up
just,
for the course the minute insurance came on your
yeah,
radar,
yeah,
like that day. Like you talked to the stranger from Symmetry in the Facebook
yeah.
group, check with somebody you knew, and then sign up for the course that same day, basically.
I mean, I signed up for the course. I was in touch with this lady. And then
Uh-huh.
as I'm like almost done studying and ready to take my test, I see this girl I know doing insurance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You signed up with a
So,
stranger. Perfect. Okay, cool. So
mhm.
that's so that's interesting, right? So I love knowing these things because one thing that um because I was with you, right? We worked together when you first got licensed, right? So I got to see the beginning. I love the beginning, right? Because the beginning, I could typically tell if someone's going to be successful. Like it doesn't take much to realize. There's two things, right? There's what they do in the beginning. So it's like, all right, cool. If you keep doing that, you will be successfly. Like whether
Yeah.
you feel like you're having success or not, because that's the thing. A lot of times people will be doing some stuff in the beginning, but they're not having the success they want to have, right? They're like being reasonable with the success they should be having. And then they stop. They just stop. They just like, oh no, dude. Like, like, and I'm gonna go back to waiting tables or something. I'm gonna say, what the frick, huh? Or I'm gonna go get a job. I'm like, well, like, what? You're gonna go get a job? But you came out of the gate calling leads, grinding leads, like putting a lot of calls in, like super coachable, working. But you took action super fast, right? So like
Yeah.
people that take action fast, like there's something I read before, and it's like most successful entrepreneurs, like they don't need a lot of information to make a decision.
Yeah.
And that's like a really good characteristic to have is like not need a lot of information. So if you're here watching today, if you feel like you need a lot of information to make a decision,
No.
right? A lot in the
Mm.
chat, a lot. If you feel that you don't need a lot of information to make a decision, put fast in the chat. Let's see how you would rate yourself. So let's
I
go
feel
here.
like,
How do
I'm
you feel?
sorry. I think the fact that I knew nothing was so much better for me than knowing how everything worked because I didn't even know about leads when I'm studying. I didn't know what a lead was until my first day on the job. I didn't even know what a lead was. I
Yeah.
didn't know like how you sold insurance, I didn't even know any of that. And I think had I known those things I would have gotten in my head. I would have, the more information I would have searched for and dug for. And I think people do that to almost find reasons to not do it, if that makes sense. Like they're like want all this information, I don't know, in hopes that it doesn't work or they can't do it. And I knew nothing when I started, and it was definitely best. It was for my benefit, truly.
Yeah, that so I did a YouTube video today. Actually, it goes live at 7 p.m. and it talks about having an open mind. And it talks about like if you look, you ever see like on Facebook, you'll see like ads. You'll see like ads, someone selling something, whatever his product or service, coaching or whatever, and then you click the ad and you start going through the comments.
Yeah.
And you see that 4-letter word. You know what 4-letter word I'm talking about?
Scam.
That's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're only going to pay attention to the negative, though. Yeah.
But I watch the right scam, and then I think about this. I'm like, all right, so like, what kind of person is sitting there scrolling through Facebook? They see somebody trying to sell a service or a product, and they're like, oh my goodness, I need to click on this and write scam, right? It's like a super closed-minded person.
Yeah.
right? It's like this closed-minded person, and like to me, like that's like the person who's like just trying to find like this negative stuff. So they live in this negative world, and they're searching for all this information. Because I know for me, like I didn't need a lot of good information to start. I needed to know the person that was going to coach me was living a better life than me, right?
Yeah.
For me, leads were important. Like leads were important because you did a coaching business, right? So like you understand, like, and if I was recruiting you and you were doing, and listen, this is a great tip for anyone trying to recruit people. But if I was recruiting you and me and you were talking, and I was like, "What do you do for a living?" You're like, "I have a coaching business." I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool. Tell me about that." And you're like, I coach people. I think you do virtual, right? It was virtual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I coach people virtually. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me ask you this: if I could send you 50 people every single week that are interested in getting coached by you, what would your business look like? And dude, you look at me, you would smile, you're like, dude, that'd be great. I'm like, that's what we're doing with insurance. We're gonna send 50 people looking to buy the product you want to buy. And I would do that with everyone, right? Real estate agent, it doesn't matter. Like, any person in sales, like, oh, you sell cars? Okay, good. Good. What's that like? How many cars a month do you sell? How many cars a week you sell? What's the commissions like? What's this like? What would your life look like if I had 50 people a week sent your way that are looking for a car? What if we could make that 100 if we needed to? What would your life look like, right? And like that's what insurance is, like, or that's that's what a lead program is, right? Having a good lead program. I mean, there's lead programs for everything, but it's so crazy. I have people ask me, how many leads should I get? You know what my new answer is? Let's do this. Ready? You ready, Lauren? Lauren, ask me how many leads you should get.
How many? I just asked you this yesterday. How many leads should I get?
It depends. How much money do you want to make?
A lot.
Then you should get a lot of leads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's but it's so funny though. It's like literally it's really that simple, right? It's that basic.
Yeah.
But there's this emotional like thought process in that, right? Like when people are asking that or thinking about that, like it's emotion. It's not mathematical, right? Because you could go on my Facebook page, you can find a spreadsheet, and you can find our averages, you can find math, and you can find data, and you can find every single thing across, a 7,000-8,000 leads going out in a month, across 100 and something producing agents, across 1,000 policies being submitted. Like you can see all the data. Like it's real simple mathematically. You'd be like, all right, cool. Look, I want to make 10 grand this month. All right, well, if I want to make 10 grand, and like you could literally plug every single thing in. So it's not even a question, but it's like people are so emotional with things and decision making. So if you feel like you're emotional with your decision making, throw emotional in the chat. Let's see. Oh, we got Justin on here. What's up? A little too fast sometimes. Instead of ready, aim, fire. I'm ready, fire, aim. Let's see here. What else? We got. All right. Everyone's saying they make fast decisions, man. Everyone's saying they make fast decisions. I'm going to check. Listen, if you're telling me you're making fast decisions, you're contracted with me, and you're not killing it, we're going to investigate it. I'm here to help. Wisconsin. 60 degrees in Wisconsin.
I'm jealous.
Look at that.
Sure.
Who wants to go to Wisconsin? I want to go to Wisconsin. 60 degrees in Wisconsin. I love that. Awesome. All right, cool. So, guess what you got? You got something?
I think that's funny that you said that because I literally asked you this question yesterday. I was like,
I know. And as soon as you asked me that, I should have said, I realized that should have been my answer to you.
But that is why, like, it's so important to have a good mentor and someone who can, like, snap you back to reality because it shows. I mean, I've been doing this a little over a year, which isn't a long time, but I still get in my head sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like some weeks you don't even have to check on me, and then other weeks I'm like, I need a I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, so that it's funny. That's like it's really a funny part of the business, and I think those moments are like what makes like you and everyone else at TPG, like that's how people bond and become family, because it's like, I know how you feel, like been there, done that, you're gonna be fine. Like, yeah. So I think that's funny.
That's cool you talk about that, because it's like, to me, like sports, right? If you played a sport, I was in the military, I went to Iraq, like, you get really, really tight with these people because you go through adversity together and you triumph together, and to me, like, I mean, if you really ask, right, like talk to any like high school or college athlete, like they're going to tell you like that was the best of their life, right? Or somebody that was in the military, like my grandpa was in the military. He joined the military when he was 16. He joined the Marines when he was 16. Uh, his mother found out and got him kicked out because he wasn't old enough. He was 16. So he got kicked out. The minute he turned of age again, he joined the Army because the Marines wouldn't take him. So he joined the Army. And then he got out. So he's out of the Army. He was in it for 3 years. And like, you know, he did deploy to Vietnam. But like he talked about his military service. Like it was like like he's done so many things, amazing things. He was a business owner, traveled the world, fancy restaurants, you know, new cars, like sick condo he had when I was younger. But like that was like such a big deal, right? Because it's like
Right.
you go through this adversity, and like to me, like that's such a blessing. Like, you know,
Yeah.
when I wrestled, like that was the best time of my life. I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid, you know, I didn't get paid for it, but it was still such a good time. So when it's like you could have this great time of your life, go through some adversity together, like triumph together, and come up, you know what I mean? Like to me, the fun part is like watching all the new cars, watching new houses, you know, and it's like watching that continue to happen and continue to see people win. Dude, it's such a great business, man. You know, the cool thing is like I look at the people we work with now, and I'm like, dude, 5 years from now,
Yeah.
10 years from now, you know, like, you know, balling out, you know, going on cool trips together, having fun together, like just doing cool stuff, you know? And like that, to me, like that's the vision. Like that's the true vision. Like production school, selling insurance is cool, money school. But the cool business is like having this like group of people that just came up together, and like everyone is just like so freaking tight. Like we will slice somebody's throat for each other. And you know, because like the come up school, you know, and when you come up together, it's just super cool, man. So I'm excited. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Where we got Liz says 100 degrees in Southern California. Jeez, I thought California had great weather. I guess that's just San Diego. Evan says I don't have emotions. Evan, I believe you're like me, man. We're emotionless. We're like very precision driven. Let's see here. 60 here in Minnesota as well. 60. You got to be good, champ. It's from Shedrick. I make decisions both slow and fast. It truly depends on what I'm making my decisions on. Justin, it's an emotional roller coaster. That's why it's important to have a great team and great one like David on your team. You need people to walk through the fire with you and someone to help you laugh about it afterwards. So I'm going to shout out Justin, man. Justin's super cool. I know Justin for years. He actually works at a different company. I wish he worked with us, but you know, I also want to respect people and be able to be friends with people and not constantly trying to get them to come work. But he's just always been super supportive, you know. And I remember going to an event. I think it was actually my first 8% that I spoke at, and he introduced me to some of his team members, you know, and I was just like super grateful for that, right? Because that's like a trust. It's like, hey, here's my agents, go meet David, you know, like. You know, because for me, once someone does that, like I can't hire, I can't recruit for the personnel. So now you just want to provide value.
Yeah.
So super cool, man. So glad to see you on these lives, Justin, man. Super awesome. And we're gonna go to Arkansas soon and go mountain biking. Who wants to go mountain biking in Arkansas with Justin? Put mountain biking in the chat. Liz, my grandma joined my dad's birth certificate to join the Marines at 16 too. Oh, look at it. I guess everyone was doing that back in the day. They just wanted to join the Marines. 88 in Central Florida. All right, so let's talk about some cool stuff now. Lauren, you are up. I've been talking. I was like, Lauren, can you be a guest so I can talk?
It's like we're just on FaceTime right now, and like,
could you be a guest for me so I can talk? So Lauren, just gotta edify her a bit, man. Lauren came out of the gate, dude. Lauren was funny. Lauren would only buy 10 leads a week. It drove me freaking crazy. But I also gotta let people be where they're at. And she like, Dave, I closed 4. Dave, I have a record. I closed 6 out of 10 leads. Like, who the heck would like to close 6 out of 10 leads a week, right? Like, me should be all over the chat if you want to close 6 out of 10 leads. So Lauren would literally get 10 leads a week. She would close 4 to 6 leads every single week. And I'm like, Lauren, do you realize if you could do that in a week, you could do that in a day, right? Like, you could literally take what you're making in a week and make that in a day. But just like everything else, right? It's just, you know, nudging them a little bit, you know, supporting them, letting them see themselves. You know, I don't believe in pushing people too hard, right? I just want to guide them through. But Lauren was naturally an amazing salesperson. Really good hustle and activity, which is super important, and coachable. But Lauren since then has learned a bunch of new things, and she's going to school us all, including myself, on how to easily sell more insurance. So, Lauren, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Um, yeah, I think a big part of the production that I have put in, especially in the beginning when I was new and no sales training, um, just doing $200 a day, 5+ presentations, and being desperate. Really, I was just so desperate, and I saw what insurance was doing for everyone else that that's all I needed to see. So the other day in our TPG meeting, someone said something like the gift of desperation, and that like hit me and stuck with me because that was me. I was just so desperate for a change in my life. Like I would have done anything. And yeah, I think a big part of the policies like I've closed, even when I was doing 10 leads a week and closing, 4, 5, 6 out of 10 at that time. I don't have to do that anymore. Thank God. But at that time, I worked those leads like a dog, and I refused to take no as an answer, but not in a pushy sales way. It was, I was connecting with people, I was hearing their story, and I truly felt a need to help these people. And I only had such a small list to work with that I could spend so much time on it at that time. So I think a big part of my production then was, and even still, I'm just very honest with like the families that I work with. And a lot of the people that we talk to, they don't have insurance, or they've had policies and they've lapsed and they can't afford this huge amount of coverage like they would love to do. And, you have to be honest with those people, like truly honest. Like, would you rather pass away and your daughter have 0,000, or, are you willing to ease this burden some and get the 5,000 for now? And like, I just had a lot of tough conversations like that with the people that I worked with, and it helped me close a lot of policies. But I think that's something that agents could probably do better. I talked about this yesterday on the morning meeting, that when you're so focused on closing a policy to put money in your pockets, that you can't truly sit and listen to the client's needs to be able to really help them. And I think that's why a lot of agents miss out on deals, because they're so focused on closing. I need money, 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 that they can't go into the conversation with the right mindset of helping the family, because they're only focused on their own pockets. And you'll catch low hanging fruit that way, but you won't be able to get everyone that you could truly help. So I think it sounds like so cliche and almost boring, and like you're waiting on this huge secret, like what's the secret to closing more deals? How do I do it? And it's listen to what they're saying. They're going to tell you, and don't be so focused on closing just the policy that you forget that this is a real person who is not stupid by any means. These people are not dumb, and you need to help them solve their problem. And I think that is like the big sales secret or tip or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think enough agents are doing that. They're only focused on putting money in their own pockets. Not all, but a lot.
It's super so true. Especially like, I sold in the field, right? So like that's where I learned. So like I'm like in these people's houses, right? So you're in this house, and it's it's easier to, like, for me, I used to say, like, they have to kick me out of the house, like that. It's not like they can hang out. They have to kick me out of the house. So I'm going to sit there and I'm going to figure out how to connect with the person. And I would walk in the house, and like as soon as I'd walk in the house, I would start looking, and I look at the walls. I would look like, sometimes people would have like, like a bunch of spoons or something in like some display case, and you could tell like, all right, this person collects spoons, or you look over and you see all the family photos, so if I saw the family photos, that's where I'm heading. Like I'm walking in the
Yeah.
house, I'm looking, I see the family photos, I'm walking over there, I'm like, hey, you mind if I take a look at these? I always ask. Of course they don't mind, right? I'm like, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? And I'm going through and I'm having them tell me whoever, and everyone comes with a story, right? And I'm just like learning who they are. I'm learning, what makes them tick, like who's important to them, what are they talking about, and I feel like it was such a simple thing to teach, right? That's literally what I tell people, like get in the house before you do anything at all. Your job is to make a friend,
Yeah.
and you're going to make a friend by like asking about their work, look for stuff on the walls, just find like the clues in the house, right? The
Yeah.
clues in the house. And then what happened when agents would have an issue, like, oh, Dave, I haven't closed anyone. I'm like, all right, cool. This is what we're going to do. From now on, you're going to walk in the house and you're going to talk about anything you can that's not insurance until they ask you why you're here.
Yeah.
And I did that myself like so many times because, it happens everywhere. Like I walk in the house and then finally like, I'm sorry, why are you here again? I'm like, oh, yeah. By the way, I'll pull out the lead. I'm like, hey, remember this thing? But then it gives you a time to bond with the person. But I like what you're saying, like listen, like have these conversations, listen, like treat them like real people. No, they're not stupid, and I see that so many times with like insurance. They got like this like Wolf of Wall Street, like mentality, like we're going to close them. And it's like, dude, like you might get it over on them like now and like high pressure sales tactic them, but like it's nothing for them to cancel it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you get off the phone, like they're just telling you what you want to hear to get you off the freaking phone,
Yeah.
So I definitely like that. So were you always a good listener?
I will say, like, I had my fair, yeah, I was always a pretty good listener. And I feel like naturally I didn't really have to learn, like, what to say to objections, because if you're like, in my head, you're telling me you need to think about it, but you don't have insurance and you're 80, it's like, hold on. No, we don't. We don't need to think about it. That's the problem now. I mean, not, but serious, like I had no problem being honest with these people. And I think that is like what objection rebuttals are. It's like you're saying it in a way to where they trust you and they feel confident in what they're doing. Now, I will say at that time, I'll say like my chargeback rate has gone down and canceled policies has gone down because what you said is important. Like just because you close it really doesn't mean a whole lot. Like how well is it sticking? And I think that is so important on a call when you are closing people. Okay, like, yes, it's good to close the deal, but how can we make sure that we keep this deal? And a lot of people that we talk to, what makes them feel confident in buying is having all the information. And one, it's over the phone. And I was raised by my grandparents. They're born in the 50s. So like I have a lot of those old school ways too. I don't even know if I would buy an insurance policy over the phone if like half these people called me. I wouldn't feel safe. It wouldn't feel right. But people do feel safe buying when they have all the information. And I think a lot of agents are skipping very important parts in their phone calls. Like when you get to the price point of a call, they shouldn't be asking you, oh, wait, is this whole life? Is this price? Like they shouldn't have to ask you that. And I see things, or like I've heard stories of where when I get done on a call with someone, they're like, thank you so much. No one has taken the time to do this. They have all the information they needed. And that's all people want, information. They want to know what they're buying, what it is. They want the information. And I think, a lot of agents that they speak to is just like, they're just throwing quotes and plans at them, probably trying to upsell them on these huge policies and not, once again, listening to their needs and finding out, okay, screw the 20,000. Like, what do you actually need? What do you need? 20,000 sounds good, but what do you need? What can you afford? Like what you want, what you can afford. Those are two different things. So I just don't think agents are taking the time to listen and give these people the information they want and make them feel confident if they do close them to keep their business with them. So I think over time, like I haven't, what's really improved is like my business that is sticking. I've noticed that. So I am proud of that because closing, sure, good. But like, if you getting chargebacks, that's fake. That's fake money. It's not even, what's the point?
Borrowed money. Yeah, no, that's a big thing, and I've seen that throughout my years, right? So I've seen the progression. So typically, like a newer agent that is doing well out the gate, that is selling a bunch, their persistency is usually not as good, but as they get more seasoned, more confident, more comfortable, and I think like you said, you're desperate, right, when you start. So in the beginning, it's like you're like in this like, oh, I want to make money, and like you're excited about the money thing, and then you start getting to a point where you're like, all right, cool, like I understand what I'm doing now, and like money's not the issue anymore, right? So your decisions not based on money as much because you're making money, right? So you're not pushing people as much, or
Right.
But what you said is really important is giving people all the information. Like that's really important because I was on a marketing call or on like a Zoom, someone pitched me on some marketing service they wanted to sell me. And like everything like looked great on the surface, but there's no real meat to it, and I called him out. I'm like, all right, cool. Like you're showing me this guy has 276,000 YouTube subscribers. Cool. Like how many did he have when he started working with you? Right. And like, show me the progression of that. Like show me something. Don't show me a picture of some guy with a bunch of YouTube followers. That means nothing to me. Like, how do I know you helped this guy with this, and how did you help him? And show me. Like, give me some real information, not fluff, right? So, same thing when someone's buying an insurance policy. Like, insurance is so important. It's not like they're buying a new curling iron or a new blow dryer. Like, it's like, does it blow hot? All right, perfect. They're buying something like for like this really intimate reason to make sure that when they die, the people they care about most are going to be covered, and like they're not even going to be there to make sure it gets paid out, right? So they want to feel really comfortable with that. So yeah, you want to make them as comfortable as possible. Like, do you have all the information that you need? Is there anything, like, don't rush them off the phone. Like, dude, we basically make $1,000 an hour. Like, why rush? Like take your freaking time, and make sure they know what they're getting. So let's go check the comments here. I know we got a bunch of them. Exactly. Don't make commission breath. Yes, perfect. Disconnect. Oh, hold on. We got a bunch of them. All right, here. All right, Sarah's here to learn. All right, Cassandra says me. I think that's when we want to close deals. Awesome stuff, guys. Thank you, Michael. Evan says disconnect from the sale. Focus on the conversation. Love it. Rashonda says exactly. Don't have commission breath. Pamela says did the same day when I was in the field. It gave the connection with them. Evan says same thing as over the phone. So what you hear in the background of the call, that's what's relevant to them. So Evan's picking up noises in the call, so that's super cool. Michael, talk about those grandkids, right? Everyone loves their grandchildren. Look at the walls where the magic happens from Michael. Let's see. Being relatable is key. Telling the truth helps. I had a client say no one actually listens anymore, and that's the reason why she hasn't gotten coverage. That's from Shedrick, man. Super cool. Being too good at sales hurts you sometimes. I talked to a couple in their 80s from Baltimore about kids on the wall last week to write 5K last week at AP. Let's go, Michael. Good wisdom, Lauren from Jessica. Brian Dion, so true. Our customers are buying something they'll never see. They have to feel comfortable. It's one of the most expensive purchases in their life they'll never touch. And Michael, do you guys do Social Security planning? Do you offer FE? So, and then Lauren Borstein. Guess what Lauren Borstein said? How'd you know? How'd you know? Yeah. So, someone asked what products we sell. So, we sell, you know,
Final expense.
Lauren, Lauren sells a lot of final expense. I'm IMO. We sell final expenses are bread and butter, but we do traditional life as well. Also, just moved into the Medicare business as well. So we will be a full service IMO. That's the direction we're going to. So excited with that.
People are
Let's go, my
always
girl superstar.
like other people who are in sales but not final expense, like they're always shocked when they find out I primarily only write final expense.
Yeah,
And I think it makes all the sense. Like, why wouldn't I only? Like, why would I not?
well, okay, so that's a good one, right? So it goes to me like I just think of like business 101.
Yeah.
And remember, like, what did I tell you when you were when I said if I was trying to interview you and you're doing personal training, right? I would
Yeah.
say, what if I could send you 50 people looking for your personal training services? And if you had 50 people looking for your personal training services every single week, guess what? You wouldn't be in some Facebook group looking to sell insurance,
No, I would not.
right? So it's like you want to chase what the demand is. So if you have a good, strong final expense lead source, then that's what you sell. I think Lauren has left the building.
No,
I do RSSA analysis to show value of life insurance. That's my girl superstar. Love this. So many agents want to rush the process and skip key parts. Protecting families. You can make so much money if you just have some heart and put the families first. Michael, awesome. Love the Medicare bread and butter. Look at that. Awesome. Yeah, no, to me, it's about chasing the leads. It's about chasing. And then the thing, what I love about final expense. So I got in final expense in 2018. So I got to deal with COVID. I got to deal with mortgage rates issues raising. I got to deal with supply chain issues changing, right? So like when mortgage rates changed, that completely changed mortgage protection. Mortgage protection was booming when house sales were booming, right? They go together because when you buy a house, and I learned this when I bought a house, you buy a house, all of a sudden, guess what comes in the mail? All these mortgage protection leads, because they have the data that you just bought a house, right? So like that's how they're creating all those those are good leads, right? The person just bought a house. They're like, oh yeah, you're right. I need mortgage protection. You're like in that spending mode, right? Like you got to get furniture. Like I got to get all this stuff. I got to make sure house is protected. Like that is a great lead. But when people aren't buying houses, they have no one to send those to. So now they just start sending it to people that had houses. Like, dude, I've been in this house forever. I ain't buying it. If they didn't buy it, then they're not buying it, right? So like mortgage protection completely changed due to the market. Final expense has never changed. Final expense has always been steady Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, you got to die.
I got the shield. I was able to buy a shield. I was able to buy a shield to the final expense. Going to correct with you, David, about Medicare. Connect. Awesome, Sarah. Send me a message. All right. Yep. MP was on fire in 2019. Yeah, it was. Sold final expense back in 2003 when all odds were legal, generate 80, 120 leads per week. I would love to write 10K per week again. Yeah, I think just about finding a good lead source, Michael. We have agents doing 10K a week now. Lauren does 10K a week. Lauren, how do you do 10K a week? What's your secret?
Treat it like a real job. I don't even think that I work for myself. I don't even feel that way. I mean, I know I do, but it's like I don't feel like that. It's not like, oh, I work for myself or just take the day off. It's like, no, I have to get to work or I have to work. If I don't go to work, it's not going to be good.
You're a tough boss.
Yeah, I would say so. And it's such a part of my routine to where that's why, in my personal opinion, that is the part of the business where it's so easy to be hard on yourself because you do work for yourself. So if you're doing 150%, you feel great. There's no complaints. But when you're doing like 80, 70 and like something's pulling you away from that desk, it's so easy to be hard on yourself. But but I think I treat it like it's a real job. Like I have a boss. Like if I don't show up, I'm gonna get fired. Like somebody's watching me on this clock. I treat it just like that. Um, so that if you show up, you're gonna write business. You know, if you show up and dial the phone, you're gonna write business. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You know that it's funny you said that because to me, once you have the leads figured out, right? Which you know you're happy with your lead source. I'm assuming, right? I mean, obviously, going to tell me yes, right? That's and then you got the sales part figured out. Then it's really the mental part. Like the mental part
Yeah.
is that's the game in sales, right? The mental part, and the mental part tears some people apart, and some people can handle it better than others. But you I remember when I was in the field, right? And when, I was that day to day grind, and like my income came from my pen and everything. But yet so true, because if you give 70%, like I would be like you're like in your head, like you're just like, I'm a piece of crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you're like depression, like, you know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
such in your head because you're not giving me 100%. And
Yeah.
like, and you have this like the downward spiral where like when you're giving 100%, like, dude, you feel like you're on top of the world, you're just crushing everything. So that's super important. Let's see here. Dave, is it Senior Life you guys are with or other carriers as well? Michael, I do not write with Senior Life at all. I'm not affiliated with Senior Life Insurance Company anymore. Almost a year now. So I write with all the top carriers: Mutual, Trans, Aetna, Aflac, Transit, yeah, So all the basic carriers. Cassandra, I feel that way to Lauren. And let's see. And just okay, here we go. Could you give people a practical example of how you stay in the game and have the discipline and do 10K? I know you just said you treat it like a job, but are there any tangibles that you do to help?
Yeah, a lot. So not necessary because I mean, I pushed this off until I just couldn't do it any longer. Obviously having a CRM, having a dialer helps, but like I feel like I'm perfect example of that. It's just not necessary in the beginning. You absolutely do not have to have that. I mean, I found every reason to not get a dialer and a CRM for until I was like 7 months or 8 months in. You know that. um, so I think having a CRM, a dialer helps. Obviously, having fresh leads every week is going to help. Um, on the weekends, I like to try to improve in my sales calls as much as I can. So I'm like on YouTube, watching videos, like trying to find other final expense creators where I just like certain things they do and implementing it into my calls. Um, Also, something that I think is so important, every call you have with your clients, it should be the same. Like you should be giving the same effort on every call so that you can know it like the back of your hand. And so it's not as stressful. If you're winging every call and you like don't really have anything to follow, you're probably going to feel a lot more stressed at the end of your day because you don't know what the hell you're doing. If you have something to follow where you're doing the same thing almost for every call, and I'm not saying every call is going to be the same because they're not, but like the effort that you put into your calls and the power questions and all of that, I think all of that should be the same for every call. So you have a system, and at the end of the day, you're not feeling all over the place and crazy and like you're losing your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because you brought me back to like when I used to sell, and I would like ask a question, and like I would literally just ask the question, and I'll just pause and I'll just stop and listen. And I already knew what I'm saying next. Like it didn't even matter what they were saying. Like I already knew exactly when, hey, do you know the difference between whole life and term?
Yeah.
Right? Like that was a question I would ask every single person, right? Do you know the difference between whole life and term? It doesn't. If they say yes, I'm saying the same thing. If they say no, I'm still saying the same thing as if they say yes, right? Like just being so systematic about everything that you do, because like you said, it just makes it so much more relaxing. Out of these 3 plans, what you're most comfortable with, and it's just like, all right.
But that's how you are able to see where you need to improve, or what you need to do or not do too, because you have data from
Yeah.
doing it so much. You're going to know, okay, this works, this doesn't work. Oh, I need to keep doing this, or I need to stop doing this. Like if you're constantly just doing different things all the time, you're not going to have any data to track to know what's working for you. And then you're really
Yeah.
not going to feel good. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think like I don't want to say testing, but everyone is different in their sales style, I guess I'll say. And I think, if you're consistently doing the same thing, it makes it a lot easier to know when you need to stop doing something or when you need to change something up, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you're right. Like just winging it and doing different things all the time. Like you literally have like there's no learning if it's
You
working,
don't know
right?
what's
Yeah, you
working.
don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. All right, let's hit up some of these questions and get rolling. I know you got more insurance to sell. Let's see what we got. So Michael says, do you have a lead vendor that we use through your agency? Yes, TPG has a lead program that they plug into with exclusive leads that are exclusive to them. Justin, that's fire. Thank you, Justin. Sarah, the question everyone asks, how do you structure your workday? Because as you said, structure routine is key. So how do you structure your workday?
Um, the perfect work day for me would be getting to the ideal work day, a normal day where I have nothing else going on, is going to be like 9 start. And then I don't even have like a set stop time in my head. Like I stop when I stop. Now, I'm never really stopping before 5 p.m. ever. If things are in lead, depending on how leads are coming in, sometimes I am on until 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. I am. But, I have a 4-year-old daughter and I take care of my dad who has cancer. So, I mean, like this morning he had a doctor's appointment. So I wasn't on at 9. But tonight I have leads coming in. So I'm not going to be done with my day at 5. It's not really like I have this perfect structured setup, because I don't. Just can't lie about that, and you know that. But I am showing up every day. Like that is something that I am doing. So I don't think it's that. I feel like that question kind of goes back to maybe. I'm not saying that this person is doing this, but like don't be so focused on what is the perfect structure and this perfect routine and the perfect hours. Just show up every day when you can and stick it out. Because I don't know when my perfect structure is going to come, but I'm over a year in and it's just not here yet. So
Yeah, I mean, being a single mom of a 4-year-old, and caring for your father definitely, has, there's things you have to do, right? There's
right.
things you have to do, like there's the responsibilities, So that's my work day. Like it's like, all right, well, my work day is usually up at 4:30 at the gym, head there by 5:30, and then I'm usually at my desk at the latest 8 o'clock. And then lately I've been trying to cut it off by 7 p.m. Like that's the goal. Like cut it off by 7. So 11 hours, 5-6 days a week. That's basically it. And that's pretty. But I don't have a child that I'm caring after or a parent. So like that's it. That's my life. All right, cool. All right, so we are. Okay, well, last question. This will be the last question from Brian, because I know you probably got leads calling you right now trying to buy insurance from you. Will cost you money. Advice: how do you deal with consumers who want to rush his or her price? How do you best control the pace for the call? We all
Great
deal with those,
question.
and that's a good one, right?
Great question. Um, when you have someone who is rushing for the price, that very logical question to ask for them. Very good question. Like when I buy something, when you buy something, like what do you want to know? How much it's going to cost, right? I think the way that people look at people like that. So when you get someone on the phone, and I know everyone has gone through this because I used to do it, and the person was like wanting me to get to the price super fast. I would be like, let me do my presentation. Like, stop. You're messing up my presentation. I see that now as like, if I have someone asking me for the price, I have a buyer. Like, this person wants to know how much it costs because they want to buy it. So I think shifting that mindset is good too. But also, when someone's asking for the price, they're not ready to think emotionally, they're thinking logically. So we need to give them logical information. Okay, I'm happy to give you the price. You know, it's important to know what type of policy is even going to be good for you to look at. Do you know the difference between term and whole life? Like, they want logical information, so we need to meet them where they're at. But two, you need to know that everyone's not worth giving a price to. Not everyone's not going to buy. You're not going to close everyone. And if someone is not willing to like let you do your job, you have to determine, you have to know not everyone deserves a quote. And that's okay.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So absolutely. If Lauren crushed it today, I need to put Lauren crushed it or LCI in the chat. Give options. Give 3 options, right? Give options. So, man, Lauren, absolutely amazing. We went longer than normal, but you're just giving out so much value, and I took up your first 30 minutes. So I'm glad that I gave you some time to talk, and you could say some great stuff. Super proud of you. And really excited. Like, this would be your first full year, right? This year is going to be your first full year.
June made a year, but I mean, when TPG makes a year, I'm gonna be a year. Yeah,
that's it.
And it'll be October, a year.
That's it. October. That's it. And then
time flies. Yeah,
super excited to watch you and your growth. And I mean, it's been great so far. But like, I see where you're going, your potential, and I'm really excited for it. So thank you so much for jumping on air. If you enjoyed this video, guys, definitely invite some people to this group. Definitely would like to help as many people as I can, give as much coaching and training as we can. So, Lauren, I am going to end the Facebook Live. Just hold on 1 second here.
No, I want to say in front of everybody, thank you for everything you do. I know I definitely probably make you want to block me 20 times a day, and you're like, oh my God, here she goes again. So I want to say thank you for everything you do. I don't know how you do it, but I would not be where I'm at without you, and I appreciate everything you do for everyone here, truly.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for public embarrassing me. Thank you.